Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark from Saw Gaming, formerly known as the Noble Shepherd, and today I wanted to bring you a little a treat for the Battlefield fans. All right. And while I'm playing Battlefield 4 and discussing this with you guys, I really want to put my foot down and say this before anyone comes out and attacks in the comment section. This is definitely a fucking biased opinion. I do not think Battlefield 1 is nearly as good as 4 or Battlefield 3 was. And here's why. So, earlier in the year when Battlefield 1 first came out, the whole world was on it. Literally, the whole world. And, you know, still a lot of people are playing it. But that number of people has dropped considerably from then to now. And everyone I've asked who doesn't play it, mind you, this is about 50 people. Most of them are on my friends list, and a lot of people I know from school or other commodities and commutes. And I keep hearing the same thing. So from my little experiment I conducted, I found out that the reason why people stop playing Battlefield 1 usually is because lack thereof content. Now, if you already aren't informed that they just dropped the France DLC, and I haven't gotten a chance to play it. I didn't feel like spending $60 on a season pass again, especially if I'm not quite sure with the game. I'm probably going to be that guy who waits for everything to come out, or at least most of it, and I'm going to see reviews from trusted sources like Angry Joe, who's a very casual reviewer. And if I want to see a more in-depth review about the game's mechanics and how everything works, you know, DPS drops, updates, stuff like that, I'd look at I can't remember. Damn it. I'm just going to keep going on because I don't want to waste time. But I would find different sources, and they would all say the same thing. And surely this is not surely this correlation could be, you know, I would slide it over to the causation side, because I believe that there's not enough content. I believe that the gun selections are kind of redundant because you get 3 types of the same fucking gun, just with variants, kind of like what Call of Duty did with Advanced Warfare. And I didn't like Advanced Warfare because of that. I didn't want to grind for a BAL 27, if I can remember correctly, or a Shoe Shiner or I fucking forgot. The M something. Everyone, like, there was 4 good guns in the game that everybody wanted, and once they got that, they got off. Or they just showed it off in public lobbies like normal people, and not like losers. Anyway, I also didn't have much fun with the game because of the way it's construed, and there just wasn't much content. I didn't, and for that reason, vanilla-wise, I didn't purchase the DLC. I didn't play fucking Cyber Zombies or whatever the fuck that terrible idea was, because, in my opinion, that was a bad idea. But because I didn't see enough vanilla. I didn't see anything that compelled me to want to keep playing this piece of shit game. Mind you, this is biased. Yeah, I don't like Advanced Warfare. I think it's gross. I'd rather play Modern Warfare 3, which if everybody played in that day, that shit had the worst connection and the worst hackers. Holy shit. Quickscopes galore with aimbot. But back to the subject at hand. Whenever they came down to class selections, you would often have to get these ration tickets. And these ration tickets, oh god, they're not really called ration tickets, but I'm just going to call that shit, because I feel like I'm rationing for food here. When you have to really struggle to get a decent weapon to start killing people with, because right now you suck at point and click, and you want to just point, hold, click down, like I did. I didn't quite struggle. The game wasn't too hard. Multiplayer wise, I didn't find myself struggling one bit when I played the campaign, although the campaign was a step up. I will give it that. The campaign, beautiful. I loved it. I wish there was more of it, though, because it was a relatively short campaign in my opinion. My favorite part of it was the tank section, by the way. That was just awesome. Everything else was short as fuck, except for... yeah, never mind. Everything else was short as fuck. But, when you played Battlefield 1, the first thing you will notice is how shiny it is. How good it looks. How crunchy the sound is. The second thing you'll notice is that there are gas clouds every fucking where. I swear to God, I've never seen so much green ever. I've seen more green in Battlefield 1 than I did playing Ark or Crisis 3 when everything was just covered in plants. Nope, fighting in the desert, in the Sinai Desert with gas grenades, and mind you, I don't even use that shit, but fighting in the Sinai Desert with gas grenades, you're just gonna see a bunch of green shit coming out of everywhere. And then there's the Agon Forest, which everybody hates. Everybody hates. No, I don't know one person that would recommend to play Agon Forest over any other map in the game, unless it was something like Team. No, not even Team Deathmatch. Yeah, it's just garbage. But honestly, believe that they should have put more maps in there, and they should have had more selective duties. Like in World War I, there was more things being used, just regular grenades, gas grenades, and fire bombs, and trip mines, and some other explosive shit. They had more in there. And I also don't feel like I was quite immersed into the game, mainly because of everybody's using the same fucking weapon. You got some weird shit going on with the engine. Like sometimes shit would freak out. Like when you do the bayonet charge, it looks like you're going through the galaxy as Super Mario, and you're just playing the Wii again. God, that was garbage. The Wii, the game was amazing, but the Wii sucks. It's pretty obvious to me that it is the content. There's not enough guns, not enough variability. The class selection is it's subpar to its predecessors. Everything about Battlefield 1 except for textures is worse than Battlefield 4. Well, except for textures and story, I should add that. Everything else is just garbage. You don't have custom servers. Actually, you do, but you can't privatize them, which means that you can't have these public... you can't have these private games being hosted by gaming channels, and you can't have these 1v1s with no one else can join. It's just unfair and unimmaculate because most of the stuff takes place outdoors. Well, there's barely any use in trench fighting whatsoever. All I see is that you're back in your spawn. The only time trenches would be useful is if you're trying to hold out in Agon Forest, that shitty map, or in the back of the Sinai Desert on both ends, because you're getting impaled and anally fucked by the other team. It just isn't a good it isn't a good representer of what happened in World War I. And I know that they wanted to get it accurate, but also try to make it fun. But they could add more trenches, for God's sakes. I'm seeing too many people running out there, getting stabbed and shit, out in the middle of a desert with hills, and a city's 3 miles away, and you gotta hike there. Come on. You gotta put more into this game. I know you put a lot of effort in the texture engine, but you gotta put more effort into map design. You also have to put more effort into gun design. Yes, they look nice. They don't sound like the real thing, not by a long shot. I've listened to M1's. I've listened to those audio files compared to the game's audio files. I've shot pistols in real life. I've even, the M1911, yeah, that doesn't sound like shit remotely close to what it did sound like. They wanted to be realistic, but not be realistic is what I'm saying. I'm not saying Battlefield 1's a bad game. I'm just saying it's nowhere near 4 level. It's nowhere near 3. It's an eh. I don't even want... I stare at it on my desktop, right? I don't play it. I go to 4. Literally on my desktop, I'm looking at it now. Battlefield 3's above it. Battlefield 1's above 3. And then there's 4 at the bottom. I disregard both and play 4. And even so, if I wanted to play anything else, I would probably just click Battlefield 3, because everyone loves that too. Honestly, there's no reason to have a Battlefield 1 once you have all the other Battlefield games. I still see my clanmates from One in the Chamber Gaming playing Battlefield 4. They're in an Xbox party right now on my TV while I'm recording on this PC, playing Battlefield 4 on the PC while they're playing it on the shitbox one. And the reason why is that so is because they can't, they don't have a PC yet, and they really want one. But I digress. I mean, you know, when you got a next-gen console and it plays a game like that at 720p at 45 hertz and frames, shave a little off there, you got a little disappointment. But nowhere near as disappointing as Battlefield 1 was, because at least you still got Battlefield 4, just in a shittier package, a shittier looking package and performing. Battlefield 1 to me was one of the year's biggest disappointments for that reason. I just don't find myself getting on there. I'm not at the point to where I wish I didn't buy it. I'm at the point to where I wish I didn't have to see it every day, because I just get a little sad. It's not what I thought it would be, and that's exactly what happened with Hardline, except the difference is I would actually go back and play Hardline because it resembled 4 in a small way. It actually resembled 3 more than 4 in my opinion. But that's my little rant. That's my little input. You can believe whatever you want to believe. That's what I believe. I don't want to, you know, skew anyone's idea. I just want to put it out there. That is why a lot of people who think like me don't play the game. This has been Mark from Saw Gaming signing out. Please be sure to rate. Who the fuck rates YouTube videos? God, I gotta get that out of my head. Don't rate. You can't fucking rate. That shit's old. Jesus, man. Jeez. Don't forget to comment, like, and share, and always subscribe for newer content. Jesus, I gotta stop fucking up the exits, man. I need to take classes for this shit. See ya, guys. Subscribe and shit, you know.